Also in 1932 or 31, I photographed Bruno Walter, conductor of the Berlin Philharmonic, and Sergei Rachmaninoff sitting together before a concert.
How did you feel as a young man suddenly photographing all those very, very famous people?
I felt also rather important, but I never in my life was conceited. This was a job for me, and I was very proud that I was the one who could do it, and I was very much interested. This was a work of love.
Are you a shy man?
I'm a very shy man when I don't have a camera, otherwise I'm not so shy. I'm a little bit shy among crowds, you know. In crowds I'm a little shy. I don't like that people look at me and so and so. I like to be like a little mouse in a mouse hole, not to be seen. A very, very famous picture, never repeated. On the left you see, taken in Berlin at the Philharmonic before a recital, is Nathan Milstein, Vladimir Horowitz, and the late Gregor Piatigorsky, cello. Now comes a picture I'm very proud of taking it. Arturo Toscanini talking to Wieland Wagner before the Bayreuth Festival started. And this was taken with a Leica camera, and I'm also very proud, Richard Strauss in Salzburg. It was in 1932 or 33. You see, photography just started, the photojournalism started. We didn't know very much about photography. For me, this was always an adventure, and I was always amazed that something came out. And those pictures I developed myself quite often in hotel rooms. I have still here a little tank I developed my films with.
And was it a well-paid job at that time?
No, it was not very well paid. But you did it, you see, at that time, nothing was, we didn't count it, money wasn't counted, we did it for the love of it. Everything was just different from today. If today, people ask today when they get any job, how much? That time was done for the love of it. One of my earliest assignments was to go to Paris, where I photographed with larger cameras a rehearsal of Swan Lake Ballet. Didn't have an exposure meter. I was only accustomed to that Rembrandt type light. I had only lights coming from the ceiling. If you use any artificial light, kills always the mood. You get pictures, but the mood is gone.
I mean, what is the essence of a good photo story?
This is good as the beholder sees it, you know. Sometimes editors like a picture, I don't like it. Something has to please me. Now, there are many things, for instance, which don't please me. But I'm a good soldier, you see. I very rarely refuse an assignment. And people say, why don't you refuse an assignment? Yes, when somebody gives me an assignment, let's say, I complain later after I've done the story. One of my first pictures with a Leica on a tripod. A gala evening at the La Scala in Milan. Now this is it's a nice picture. You see, the lower boxes are always people with white tie. But I was looking for some specific thing, because this is not, it's a pleasing picture, but it's not the picture, until I spied from somewhere here, as you see, an empty box besides that, but you have to have it in your head. And this was for years and years and years, still is one of my prized pictures of that lovely, lovely young society girl at the premiere at La Scala in Milan. Without that girl, if you take this away, it's no picture at all. People have asked me, how did you expose? I don't know, but probably at least half a second, at least, on a very unsturdy tripod. This picture of Marlene was done in 1928, after she did The Blue Angel, directed by Joseph von Sternberg. It was published time and again. Now this is a year later. I photographed her in 1929 at the Hotel Adlon at the press ball. I asked her to pose for me. She was in tails and slacks. It was unheard at that time.
Do you think that people pose very much for the camera?
No, that depends. It has something to do probably with the personality of a photographer. I just don't know. See, I never push people around, so I have to be smooth. I have to more or less diplomat, to be a diplomat than a photographer. People very often don't take me very serious because I have so little equipment. When I married in 1949, my late wife said, "But where's your real cameras?" I said, "These are my real cameras." I had small cameras. And I still don't go around with lots of equipment. In 1932, the Associated Press sent me to London to photograph, to do many stories of Oxford and in Cambridge and anything else I saw. And I wanted to photograph George Bernard Shaw, but he was not accessible. And somebody told me, "Look, he is a vegetarian and bananas are a thing. Why don't you try to do something about this?" So I bought him a bunch of bananas and sent us a portfolio of my portraits with him. In 2 days I had an appointment. And here he looks at my pictures. He was charming. When I wanted to pose him, he says, "Look, you don't have to pose me. I'm a photographer myself." And he did everything for me, anything I wanted. He played even the spinet or piano, what it was. He was very tall. He was wonderful. Look at that old typewriter. It's a Smith Premier. He typed himself, and his secretary, I think Miss Part or what it is. I wish many people would be as cooperative as Charlie was. I photographed at the ice rink of the Grand Hotel in St. Moritz, a so-called waiter school, where waiters are being taught by the head waiter how to serve drinks to British guests. This is one of my great prize pictures. Now to do a smash picture, as I photographed with a mirrorflex camera, a reflex camera with glass plates, I put that chair here, focus at the chair, and asked the waiter to pass by. That's what he did. In 1933, I was sent to Geneva to photograph the 15th session of the League of Nations, and there appeared Dr. Joseph Goebbels, the Minister for Enlightening and Propaganda of Adolf Hitler. And you see him, this picture has never been published. You see it for the first time. He smiles, but not at me. Look at his eyes, very important. He looks at somebody else, whom he likes very much. Now, he sees me. Probably an enemy, I don't know what he thinks. This is from Goebbels with love. These are the eyes of hate.